Namaste. Welcome to the moment. Hi, friends. Thanks for tuning in. Today's chat, today's dialogue, today's adventure. In this video, we're going to be sharing about the laws of the universe, the great laws of karma, and the relationship between actually the law of karma and the law of attraction. I can sit here and say that they're the same. They're the same thing. The law of attraction, maybe you could say, is like a new age kind of expression of the law of karma in a way. They'd have to be connected, right? They'd have to be tied together. And I think this can be really supportive because what we've learned maybe about the law of attraction is like, okay, this is how I can get things that I want out of life. This is how I can start, maybe moving things out of my life that aren't good for me, that I don't want, and that sort of thing. And all that's fine, but when it comes to wanting things for ourselves, there's a collateral that comes along with it. Anytime we get something, there's a responsibility that comes with receiving that, whatever it may be. For example, if I manifest a house, if I call in like a nice house for myself, I have to maintain it. I'm responsible and in care of that thing. And it's not to say don't try to call in what you want and don't try to move out of your life things that you don't want. But I would say that when we understand this in a greater way, that our own inner alignment and how we experience ourselves is a greater attractor for what we would want than desiring or wanting things sort of in just the mood of like what I can get from my own comforts and pleasures. Right? If I just found a way, even if I was the best at it, even if I was the best manifester in the world and I can like snap of a finger, call out and get anything I wanted, would that bring me happiness? Would that bring me joy? If it was just stuff and things or maybe exciting experiences and stuff like that, would that fulfill my life? And again, the more I call in that way, the more material stuff, the more I have to like take care of it. And the more I might even get attached to it. I might even call in all these things and be like, no, I got to hold on to it, because everything is in this flux of coming and going. Everything in existence is in a flux of coming and going. Everything. Nothing can come into your reality and field and stay forever. Nothing. Good experiences, pleasurable experiences, nice things, not nice things, painful things, everything that comes must go. This is the law. This is the law that what comes into existence must go. There's actually a story in the Hindu mythology about Brahma, the creator of the universe, has a lifespan. The creator of this universe will die. Whoa, it's like trillions and trillions of years. But that being that created the universe will die. And that there's actually a creative force that spawns the creator. You can think of it like there's something that exists in a more fundamental space than a being with a mind and a power that can create something. Whoa. That being has a lifespan. Creator of the universe. Pretty profound. Pretty powerful. Everything that comes into existence must die back to it. This is a big philosophy, but when it comes to, aligning ourselves with a life that's going to be fulfilling and happy, and when it comes to like getting what we want from life, when it comes to living a life that we desire and all of these things, the deeper we can go into this, I think the greater fulfillment we will find. Because one of my intentions with sharing this, with my channel, with everything that I share, is to I've been led down a path, and it's important for me that if I'm going to encourage anyone else to follow ways that I've taken or pathways that I've taken, I want to make sure that I'm not leading anyone down a dead end. This is my intention for sharing with all of you. I don't want to lead anyone down a dead end. I don't want to go down a dead end. You know, if I can avoid it. You know, the whole journey, the spiritual journey, once you're on it, if you're really on it, if you're really committed to it, it's ever increasing in joyfulness. So even dead ends that we find ourselves walking down, when we're really connected with it, when we really have a way of living where we know how to meet any moment that comes. And that's what the paths and the teachings of spirituality that have been passed on to us, they can share with us. You know, I can say the path of yoga gives us everything that we need to meet any moment in life. That can meet death in a way that we can have fulfillment in the heart, that we can remain in lovingness. Even when we slip into old tendencies that are toxic, we can meet ourselves and we can meet others in ways to sort of mend that and to heal that, to transition, to alchemize those moments into purifying them and at least return to the space of love and wisdom. And what I'm here, I guess, to say today is, when it comes to getting what you want from life, when it comes to living a life that you want, a greater way to do it than like what you think about is to align your heart with something ever joyful. To align your heart, your mind, align your thoughts, to align your actions with something that doesn't fluctuate from its joyful space. Right? Because getting what you want, having a really nice house, right? When things break, you know, you might suffer those things. You know, if you like call in this beautiful, amazing, pleasurable, enjoyable thing, and you worked hard to manifest it, you know, when you get it, you know, and then it starts to fall apart and decay, then what happens? You know, when you get it and, you know, maintenance is required for you to keep up with its beauty. You know, how we show up to that is really important. And it's not to say don't do that. It's not to say, like, have vision of things, have clear vision of things. But what I'm really getting at is search your heart. You know, your mind is going to come up with all kinds of fun things to desire, all kinds of fun things to attract, you know, relationships, money, and all that stuff. But what I'm saying, it's more potent and actually will draw into your life faster, in a greater and more powerful and harmonious way, when you align with the depth of the heart and the desires of the spirit. When you purify yourself of greediness, of selfishness, when you cleanse selfishness, when you live to give, then the desires that remain are aligned with your spiritual journey and destiny. Because our desires for things of the world can distort our path, or can add to our journey, our spiritual journey and path, stuff that will only end up having to overcome. So go deep inside of yourself and find the vision of your soul for your highest life. And it may You may have really nice houses. You may have really enjoyable and pleasurable things that remain there. But it won't just be about enjoying things for yourself. The soul's alignment, because the soul is one with all beings. How could it ever only desire what's good for your being? You know? In other words, if I'm to, manifest a house that I can enjoy, just to stay with this analogy, would my soul's essence do that so only I could enjoy it? Would it involve others? Would there be fulfillment in it, in obtaining that? Sure, it's nice and enjoy, But would that lead us to a life that really attained what life is meant to be experienced as? Can we sit here and say, is life really about collecting nice things for ourselves? It's a big question to get clear on. And again, I don't ever want to say, don't seek what you feel to seek. Don't endeavor towards joyful things. It's okay. But if you have a greater depth to your existence, there's a greater joy to it. And you can look at desiring for the personal pleasures of your life as playful. Maybe as something that you can explore and play with, but no, not being so attached to these things. And not making them the forefront of your attention. Not making your life only about your life. The soul is one with all beings. So maybe this is one of the reasons we feel lonely. Maybe loneliness is a cry from the soul saying, you're neglecting the rest of me. Cutting ourselves off when we only live for ourselves. We cut ourselves off from ourselves. If soul is one with all beings, that means the self in all beings is the soul. And that means the individual aspects and qualities are unique expressions that are finite, that come and go, of the one being in existence. And so what does that say about how we live our lives? What's guiding, what's motivating our path through life? And what you kind of naturally find, what I've naturally found in exploring all these ideas that I'm sharing, putting them to work, putting to them the test, testing them in reality, and how does this affect my life, is that when I live for the whole, I live in joy and wisdom and love. I navigate my experiences in a harmonious way. My interactions with other people find greater harmony. Because I don't just live for myself. I don't just live for the pleasures of my own body. I don't just live to defend my own perspectives. I yield to every moment. I yield to the harmony of every moment, the greater harmony of every single moment. And this is the natural way, the natural movements of the soul. When the body is moved by the soul purely, the soul only knows the greater harmony of all because the soul is all. and lives for the goodness and well-being of all. So when your individual vessel to experience and express existence is moved by that, and the more pure it is moved by that, it's aware, it's connected, it's present, it's conscious, and it desires the greatest good for every being involved in every situation you find yourself in. Your highest pleasure comes from living this way. The highest wisdom of what is good to come into your life and what is good to move away from your life comes from living from this space. And simultaneously, the same for everybody. Because it'd be easy for us to say, I don't want bad things to happen to me. I don't want bad things to happen to my loved ones. But have you ever had a challenging experience that you didn't grow from? That you didn't come into a greater being from a hardship? Is there anything that ever happened to you that didn't make you stronger? And now for some of you, maybe it doesn't feel that way right now because you're still in the sensitive spaces of wounds. But as you heal and as you mend and as you grow in wisdom of the flows of life are not against you, that they move for you to guide you to connect with what I'm sharing, to find the soul of existence, to find where true pleasure, where true joy, where true abundance, where true happiness comes from. That living from the soul's essence. Guide you towards the greatest life you could ever live. And who knows what that's going to look like for you. You know, the mind, it collects data and information from the world. And it organizes and separates things into categories. It says these things that happened were bad. These things that happened were good. Those types of people are bad. These types of people are good. Based on what gave you pleasure and what gave you pain. But the soul's perspective isn't like that. It sees things, it experiences things very differently. The soul's experience of existence, whether there's physical pleasure or pain, is ever blissful. The soul is unwavering in its joyfulness. It's not possible for the soul's being and presence and existence to experience anything but blissfulness. It is transcendent. And so we could say that the movement towards these very particular ways is when it's guided by the ego, when it's guided by selfishness, is not something that we can rely on for fulfillment or joy. And the sort of paradox here too is that even the comings and goings of things are enjoyed more. The ego enjoyment of something is fleeting, and it knows it's fleeting. So even during the enjoyment of it, there's a sorrow to it because it knows it's not going to last forever and it wants it to. So when it comes to calling things into our life, when it comes to desiring even, we could say, or I can say in testimony, that searching deep in my being and finding my soul is another way of saying finding my essence in truth. You know, the soul isn't something I have. It's not like I have a body and there's a soul in it somewhere, right? I am soul. I am the oneness of existence. You can say it with me. I am the oneness of existence. I am soul. My only true identity is eternal spirit that is ever blissful. That's my only true identity. And everything else are costumes. We play roles in the world, and it's part of our path. It's part of our destiny. Whatever fluctuating aspects of existence is part of the destiny too, and the play of it. But the identity of who and what I am is the soul, the eternal, the ever joyful, the ever blissful, carrying on. And you'll feel grief still. Pain, sorrow, depression, all these things will still come in and out of your life, anchored in the soul and in the spirit. The harmony will always be there for you. So, when it comes to the law of the universe, karma, or the law of attraction, whatever you want to refer to it as, it's good to sit and consider before endeavoring to try and get what we want, to maybe find who we are. When it comes to living in a way where we're happiest, where we're most fulfilled, it's good to plunge deep into our being to discover who and what we are. And if you think about it, if I was to desire and I don't know who I am or where my desires come from, I might just cause more trouble in my life and in my world. That's my testimony, is that I've been ambitious towards what I wanted from life and suffered greatly. I've actually accomplished incredible things in my life, been victorious in many ways, but was miserable at the same time. Because I was reliant on the fluctuating aspects of existence for my joy. A victory comes and a victory dies. No matter the greatest accomplishment in one's life, at the end of it, where is it? Ultimately, we have to let go of everything, eventually. That comes and that goes. But the one thing you cannot lose and that you cannot let go of is your own eternal being. So, in search of joy, we can search the heart, search the self, and find out the aspects and the places where we're sort of confused about who and what we are. And don't be afraid to let go of everything. Because the true desires of the heart, the true desires of the soul for what your life is going to be and how it's going to go, what's going to guide your life, what you're going to move towards, what your ambitions and passions are going to be put into, are going to be revealed, and they will remain. You can't get rid of those. So you can say, I will get rid of every desire that I have. I will do everything I can to live completely desireless, desireless, at least in the sense for obtaining worldly pleasures and removing pains and stuff like that. I could sit here and say I could get rid of all of it. I could totally wash my whole being clean of all desire, and I can know that what remains for me to be a part of, to seek, to endeavor towards, to put my passionate, powerful energy into, will remain. I can't get rid of those things. And then I'm walking a clear line through life. And then I'm carrying on with confidence, clarity, great power and happiness, no matter what happens. And it's a great mystery, you know? You may not know exactly what your life's going to look like. I view it sometimes as sort of like picking up breadcrumbs that nourish me along the way, one at a time. You know, I carry on with my life, stay connected, keep staying dedicated to the practice that have been handed to me from my teachers, that I've been graced with, stay connected with the teachings and the masters that have resonated and illumined my heart and my consciousness, stay dedicated and stay connected to those things. And then I'm offered nourishment every day that guide my path. And I may not know the whole grand picture. Sometimes vision comes in of the future. And okay, that's good. And I follow the nourishing bits that are given to me every day. I hope this helps, friends. If this has given you something, you can please hit the like and subscribe buttons and enjoy more of what's to come, more of what's here. I'm so grateful to be in this space. I'm so grateful to be in a space of my own life where I can share these things that have just absolutely transformed my reality and given me such peace inside of my world and given me a place to come back to when I falter quickly. So many blessings, friends, and I'll see you next time.